Hello everyone and welcome back to Milo Farms. Well, things have kind of gotten away from us here this spring and it's been really busy. We had several projects around here and then projects up at the cabin to get taken care of. Along with everything else going on, it's just been very busy. But we were hoping to get some better videos of the garden and when the garden got planted, but we had a little problem with this fence here that had to be replaced, so that took up a couple weekends. And then we got, with all the rain we've had, and finally just got caught up, got the garden all planted and everything's ready to go. So a lot of these plants that I'm going to show you here are the ones that we saw when they were in the house on the kitchen table in the older video. Now they're outside and they're planted. They've actually been planted now for about a week or two. But with the weather and working on the fence project and all that, everything's just kind of gotten away from us before we could actually make a video of it. So we're going to kind of walk around and just look at the different plants that we have. And kind of talk a little bit about what we're doing and kind of the plan that we have for this year. So this year we tried something a little bit different. We wanted to get more organic and less with pesticides and things like that. So what we tried this year is we tried doing the black plastic thing on the ground. So far that's done really well to keep the weeds down. We haven't had to spray anything. We haven't had to pull any weeds other than just a couple here and there around the edges. We didn't want to put herbicides or anything like that on the garden area, on the things that we were going to eat. Plus with the bees, we didn't want to put anything on there that may risk their health as well. So I'm just going to kind of give you a tour of what we have here so far. Again, it's been planted for about a week or so, and we've had quite a bit of rain, and today's really the first nice day we've had. It's supposed to be about 75 today, and then it's supposed to be up to 90 by the end of the week, so the garden should really show a transformation here in the next couple weeks. So starting here on the far right, we have 2 hills of potatoes, and then we've got 3 tomato plants here in varying different varieties. And then we tried something different this year. We tried some climbing beans and peas. So these right here are supposed to climb up this piece of a farm panel that we have here. And they're starting to climb a little bit, so we'll see what happens with those. So here we've got 6 cabbage plants, and then we've got some peas, and these are supposed to be some kind of a climbing pea as well. And then these 2 on the left here on the trellis are supposed to be a cucumber that's of some variety that's supposed to climb. I'm not sure exactly on that what variety it is. Then we've got more tomato plants here, and I don't know what the variety is on all these, but we've got some early girls, we've got some sun sugars, and several other different varieties. There's a whole list of them. Maybe we can do a video when we start to harvest them a little bit more and show what the actual name is of them and how the fruit has turned out. Altogether, we've got about 17 tomato plants around the edge here, and more over to the left as well. Then we've got a couple more hills of potatoes here. And out through the middle here we have a whole bunch of crookneck squash and zucchinis as well. And then a couple more tomatoes down there on the end. And so here we have some cucumbers again on the right, and then some beans. 2 more tomato plants. So then we have a whole bunch of beets here along the back row, along the fence. And then the front row here we have a whole bunch of beans. And we've never done them in a row like this before with the little dripper tube, so we're trying that this year to see how it goes. Down here towards the left, this is a little bit of a depression kind of here in the flower bed, and the water collects and puddles, and so this end, about the last 3 feet, isn't doing very good. I think we're going to have to, this fall, bring in some more dirt and fill that section in to raise it up a little bit. So then we have a little patch of radishes right here. And then behind the hot tub, we have a patch of carrots as well. And then the garden wraps more around behind the hot tub this way, and we'll take a look at those. So here on the right-hand side, where the brown tube is, we have a strip of cabbages. And then we have some zucchinis. And then very far in the back there, we have another patch of crookneck squash as well. This section of garden here we've never used before. It was kind of a low spot after we had the hot tub put in and everything. I brought in a bunch of dirt this spring and we filled this all in. So this will be the first time we've tried this section. I'm not sure how it's going to go because this is kind of shaded, as you can see here, about half the day. So it may not turn out very well. We may not be able to use this for a very good garden, but we'll see what happens with that this year. So as you can see here, we have dripper tubes that are scattered throughout all of the garden here. I've always used dripper tubes before for watering my tomatoes and squash and all that stuff. We've just never done it on this large of a scale before. So I always like doing that because it cuts down on your weeds. You're not flooding areas with water, and you're using a whole lot less water because you're just focusing it right on the plant that you want to put it on. So far this has worked out really well in the years past, and this year it's just a larger version of it. We use, depending on how much water each plant requires, we'll use 4-gallon-an-hour drippers, or we'll use 2-gallon-an-hour drippers, and then we'll let it run for about 45 minutes in the hottest part of the summer, and sometimes even a little bit longer. Then we're also using, as I said earlier, we're trying to keep it more organic and getting rid of the herbicides. We've done the black plastic, and then for the fertilizer on the plants, instead of using some kind of, Miracle-Gro or something like that, that's more chemical based, we've used a fish emulsion fertilizer, and we'll put that on every couple weeks, water it on each one with a watering can. So here we've got Ariel supervising, and then we've got in this whiskey barrel planter, we've got lavender, which is the 2 plants with the purple flowers, and then we've got rosemary plants as well, and these are supposed to be able to be used for cooking and different things, and they're turning out really well this year. Also with the lavender, the bees really like that as well. And the bees aren't too far from the garden. You can see they're just out there to the right, about 50 yards from here. Here we have a raspberry plant. This is the first time we've ever grown raspberries. We had this little spot where an old bush had been taken out, and so we planted this raspberry stem this spring, and it's actually now really starting to grow. It's got that plant coming out at the bottom, and then partway up the stem it has another one coming out. So eventually I'm going to move a dripper over here to water this as well. So then lastly here we have our collection of fruit trees. These are not the same fruit trees that we did the video of planting here a few months ago. From the closest one to me is a cherry tree, then we have a peach tree, then the little one is a nectarine, and then we have a cherry and a nectarine and a peach at the very end. The peach at the very end seems like it's always been doing the best. The 4 larger trees we've had now going on their 4th year, and the 2 smaller trees are going on their 3rd year. We just put them along here to kind of block off the view from the of the street and everything back there. They shouldn't really be planted this close together. And then out behind, you can see back by the red building, we've got those bare root trees that we showed planting in the video. And the goal long term out here towards the back pasture on the left there is we're probably going to put another row of fruit trees there possibly next spring, and we'll probably do the bare root trees again unless we can find some at a closeout or something at the end of the year. But with the fruit trees and the bees and everything, those should really help each other out. And you can see right here, this is one of the peach trees, has the fruit on it. We did have to put bird nets on the trees because last year, as soon as the fruit came on, just about ready to harvest, the squirrels and the birds got in there and pretty much ruined all of the fruit before we were even able to do anything with it. So you can see there's quite a bit of fruit on this peach tree, and hoping that in another month or so it should be getting close to being ready. So all together here, we've got a whole bunch of fruit and vegetables that should work for our eating for this summer, and then our hope is to can a whole bunch of it. Combine this with the bees and everything, we've really got a more sustainable situation here and environmentally friendly situation here, rather than everything getting bought from the store. So our goal isn't really to eliminate going to the store or anything like that. It's just to have more stuff that's made at home and for less cost, and be able to have fun while we're doing it and learn new things and try new things and see what we can do. So hope everybody enjoyed the video. We'll have more videos once the garden gets a little bit further along. Everything's just kind of gotten out of whack this spring with the busyness and having to replace the fence and do all that. But everything should be coming along real well with the warm weather coming up. So please check out our other channel, which is Mrs. Milo Farms. And please like, comment, and subscribe. We'll see you next time.